Greetings, everyone. Rev.Hawksblood here, calling from the Big Island of Hawaii. There's a lot going on, so I'm starting a little early. Anybody that misses this 20 minutes could come on and listen to it later. Tina should be on in a little while. I just want to start with a couple of things happening on the planet right now, especially in the United States. I don't know if you can see me better or not. Does it help? I don't know. Makes my eyes look better. Right now, I don't know if you're keeping tabs of the trucking, what's going on up in Canada. The trucks blockading the roads and stuff right now. Well, basically, their government's trying to stop it, obviously. But they got funded. They're being funded by hundreds of thousands of people everywhere. They actually have enough money to stay there for the next 2 years. I know they're going to start trying to arrest them and do different things to clear that. It is our free will to protest, but there's a right way and a wrong way to protest, which I have to admit that when we go against it the wrong way, we can get in trouble. But here's the thing. Our rights are being taken away at every level. And if you don't understand that or see that, you need to wake up. I'm going to bring up a couple things before Tina comes on. The word is UN Agenda 21-30. It's what the New World Order wants to do before 2030. We're already at step 4. Now, there's things that they have been programming and doing for a long time, which they never told people. And I'm going to tell everybody right now, go online, search out the word deuterium. Okay, it's a part of our water system, more so in certain parts of the country and world than other parts. But it's part of the H2O, what water is. It's the other part of the H2. Basically, it's destructive to your whole body, inside and out. It's destructive to your thinking, your spiritualism, and everything else. Check it out. I heard 2 doctors talk about it. I saw the formulas, and it's real. It's not a make-believe thing. Deuterium. It's the other aspect of water. It makes water twice as heavy than it should be. In some countries where they have, it's based on how it actually got in there, I guess, when the Antarctic and different places defrosted and allowed different chemicals to come out or be more sufficient in the water. So it's just one thing I want you to check out while you're listening before Tina comes on, before I get into the UFO stuff. We have serious problems with geothermal. We have serious problems with chemtrails. We have serious problems with, it's called the HAARP system, HAARP system. All right, check it out. You need to understand what is really causing the weather change. And sadly to say, nobody's talking about it. Nobody in any part of the government or any other part of the world that are actually talking about that as what's causing the weather change. We are changing it. When the people say, oh, it's all natural. No, it's not natural. Testing bombs in ground, on ground, underground, in the water is not beneficial to any part of the planet either. And I mean, the planet could survive without anybody on it. Of course it could. But what we do to the outer appearance of it and how we affect it is affecting a lot of things that go on it. Now, fires that burn. Check out directed energy weapons. The United States has them. They use them on the United States. Pull up, I'm not going to remember his name, but he's in charge. He keeps in charge of what's going on with the geothermal, the earthquake chart, which is government put up, and what's going to happen, where they're going to go, how much they echo, what they do to the planet when they happen. All right, we're in a serious problem even with that alone. In the past 5 years, we have tripled the amount of earthquakes over 5.0. And that should be scary. We hit a couple 7.2 this year. Last year, we're already in a new year. And it actually causes the earth to shift, even if it's a couple inches. It's changing a lot of reality. The whole belt that went around the planet, it's moving. It's affecting all the whales, dolphins. It's affecting sea creatures as well as birds. And when you see thousands and thousands and thousands of birds fall down around you, it's not normal. I mean, they come up with the most ridiculous excuses. Somebody shooting firecrackers or gunpowder, blowing up, fireworks, you name it. but it's never the real reason because they're alive and smacking into each other, and they're still alive when they hit the ground. So it's not just toxic poisons. I mean, that's compounded in everything that's happening as well. One of the highest lamas just died a couple of days ago, and I'm not going to say how he died because I don't think they don't do autopsies, so they can't prove how he died. But I don't know if you know anything about history. I spent 2 years doing research on every spiritual person, so-called spiritual people, religious people, in the history of that we have. Do you know that 85, almost 90% of them were actually poisoned and killed? Uh, One of them had some kind of serious lung problems for like 20 years and lived, but he wasn't able to function right. Uh, Two that I know directly survived poisoning. One lived for about a year with serious problems afterwards and died. Another one survived it completely. But they get shot or they get, I mean, there's a lot of things if they're not just getting killed. All right. So think about what's really going on. Uh, Read what the UN agenda is. You got to read who's in control of it, why it's happening, what is it for. If you know anything about a new world order, they got to give you the information of what they're going to do before they actually do it. They did that with Denver Airport. In the floor, in steel, they put U.S. Air Force New World Order in steel in the main room where you buy your tickets. I think it was about 30 feet wide, steel engraved in the ground, and they had this capstone, which was a triangle, and had all the trophies of presidents and different things in it. And then at that time, if you noticed, the walls, uh, they had these giant murals, very pathetic murals, but they showed four races being killed in coffins. Then the one that they left there shows you a man with this mask, tear gas gun, and a machete, and you see these bombs blowing up with women running with children. Uh, it's a warning. It was a warning then. They left that one there, but there was one of each tribe: the black race, the red race, the yellow race. All right, and they showed you the symbols of the tribe, and they showed you that child in a coffin. Uh, it was horrible murals. They took them out of the main and they put them in the lower deck of the airport. It was created as an airport base for the future landings of ships and stuff. I don't want to get into that. It's a whole topic which you need to search out. Go there one day. Check out why there's no roof over the whole building. Why everything's circular and a lot of different things you'll notice when you go inside it. If you want to read about it, Behold the Pale Horse. The person that wrote that book is dead, but it's an incredible story of what's really going on with Denver Airport, why it was created, and how long it took them to create what they did. Jesse Ventura exposed it as well. He went out there, miles and miles of stones, when they had to use certain kinds of machines to dig tunnels. Now they use a laser technology to blast these tunnels, which are tubular, and they're all over the United States. Now, where did these tunnels go? To the underground cities. Why is not one person talking about underground cities? All right. You need to do research. Jesse Ventura exposed it years ago on TV. He went inside it. I mean, there's this giant steel doors over the gateways, but there was a parking lot with thousands and thousands of cars, and then there's this tunnel. Guess what? Uh, it never became public. Do you know about it? Do you know anything about it? Of course you don't. Everything's hushed up, just like the whole UFO program that's happening right now. I'm going to wait till Tina comes on to get into that because it's so scary to me, not to the average person or to most of the people involved in the UFO world. They all think it's great. And like I said, I want to hold off on that. Uh, Let me just check one thing if Tina touched the. I hope she's okay. Uh, so I'm going to repeat this a couple times. I'm going to have a special guest on in the next 2 weeks or so. Sean David Morton. Check out his story. There's so many lies about him. Now, realize from 1995, Michael Scallion was the top psychic. He was prophesizing the end of the planet, what it's going to look like, how the certain parts of the United States. He drew the new chart of the Earth, what it's the United States, what it's going to look like. Well, he kind of stopped in 1995. 1996, Sean David Morton was the top psychic. Sure, there was a couple people out there. Uh, Sylvia Brown that was on Montel Williams and things like that. But they weren't half as accurate. Sean was rated about 86%. Sylvia Brown was rated about 36%. Many others about 40 and different numbers, but Sean was rated the highest. He prophesied 9/11 1 year exactly before it happened. Well, I'm not going to say how it came to him. It was given to him somehow. He said exactly what happened to all three things that went down, all right, or were hit. So I have a friend also who also prophesied it as well, not in detail like Sean did, but he mentioned it. So the warning was out there. But what really bothered me, nobody, if you're a psychic and you're seeing the future and you don't do something about it, what good is the psychic prophecy? Writing it down on a piece of paper, waiting for it to happen. See, I wrote it down. Doesn't help. If people are going to die, the mission or the reason why you were given that information was to help change that. Angels work in Angels come here for a reason, and the reason is to give us a message. They're not here as teachers. I'm not going to get into religions too much, but the Muslim religion believes Gabriel taught Muhammad a lot of his teachings. But if you read those teachings, you really need to, if you want to understand where their consciousness is going or their ability to think and function out of what kind of reality. But whatever Gabriel says contradicts what he says. Every three sentences contradicts the sentence that's three sentences before it. Check it out. I'm not making this up, people. I do not lie. Or I tell the truth as far as I know it, period. And I have a lot of experience in almost everything that I talk about. So I'm not making up stories about aliens, Bigfoot, UFOs, creatures, orbs, all those words. I've been involved with that since I was 6 years old. I wasn't voluntarily being brought into it. I was forced into it. All right. Uh, I'm going to give Tina about 10 more minutes and hopefully she'll be here. But for me, I'm as real as it gets, people. And I probably have more experience. And this is not ego, people. I'm telling you, I don't do this for money. I'm not doing it for any fame or fortune. I don't want any. I do want the truth out there before I leave, period. To the best I can, put it out there. Now, I don't want to get into the UFO stuff, but as far as our government, look what the United States is going through right now. They want to impeach Biden. I mean, we have two groups of people that hate each other. How do you have a government run by two groups of people that hate each other? It can't work. If you're married to a husband and wife, if they're fighting every single day, is it working? Of course not. Imagine what they could do if they were working together. Working together, you could always do 10,000 times greater than what you can do when you're fighting with the person you're working with. I mean, even in a simple job, you fight with your boss, fight with the people you work with. It doesn't work. We can't have a government fighting with itself and then tell us a bunch of lies on top of it all. Everything we get fed is a bunch of lies. Now, compound that by multi-billionaires trying to change our reality to what they want it to be. What does Musk want the world to be? A bunch of spaceships going to Mars. What's Gates want? He wants the world to be, in his idea, perfect. Meaning, let's eliminate farms, let's eliminate cows, let's create synthetic meat. Now he's talking about climate control and stuff, but he doesn't even talk about what's wrong with it. Sending rockets and spaceships and everything else into space destroys our ozone layer, people. You want the truth? Now, I'm not the exact measurements, but it used to be a mile wide. Now it's less than a foot wide. Oh, Australia has the biggest hole in the ozone layer than the whole world. The children have to wear shirts because they'll get burned if they stay with their arms in the sun too long. It's incredibly dangerous. And what's Mr. Musk going to do? Send 1,600 more rockets up this year to put his cable system out on the planet so everybody can get his cable? People, nothing on this planet anymore is done without the reason called money. If nobody's going to make money on it, it's not really happening. Or it's not going to happen to where it should be or how it should be done. People, I'm not dreaming. I'm not a delusionist. I was in magic. I was in real magic and stage magic. They are different. One's real and one is not. All right. But the reality is, people will believe both, and that's scary. A magician can make a person believe anything they want. I just did. I'm going to give you a short experience before she comes on, and hopefully she'll be here. I was a magician for about 25, 30 years. I was doing a show for a school. We called it Magic Through the Ages, and we went from caveman all the way up to traveling salesman, which I was. And then I had a bottle in my hand that said Magic Mickey's Miracle Milk. And I took a sip, and I went like this, and I pulled a swig off, but my hair was like this, and I pulled that off. Took a sip, and I take a bar, and I twist it up like that. And then I take a drink again, and I do a blowout of flame. Everybody in the audience was in line. Mothers and children with money in their hand, ready to buy it. I said $5 at that time. And you could see the $5 in their hands and stuff in the middle of a magic show. So people were always gullible. And in those days, if somebody knew the moon phase or anything like that, they could say, I'm going to make the sun disappear. I'm going to make the moon disappear. I'm going to make blackness come over us if you don't follow me. And they did things like that, and people believed they were powerful. I'm not talking about kings and queens. I'm talking about traveling salesmen and people like that. We are in a serious place on this planet right now. Hopefully Tina's going to come on. I don't see anything yet from her. Hope she'll remember. But it's a serious condition with what's going on with the planet without the UFO stuff, without aliens, without beings and orbs and all the other things that are coming here. Now, I'm going to do it for 5 minutes before she gets here. Hopefully she'll be here. When we talk about, sorry about my dog, what's happening is, it's called the Philadelphia experiment. You need to look it up, see what really happened, what supposedly happened. Then follow through to the Montauk Project and see what supposedly happened with that as well. Now, the scary part, we went back in time and forward and back and forward. And the person that did it, who was the only one alive that really went back and forth in time, died years ago. I was friends with him. All right. He explained a lot of things, like they couldn't kill him until a certain date. The month before he actually died, I'm not saying the government killed him or anything, but the month before he died, from Canada all the way down to Florida, had a blackout. Going to be invaded by a lot of things today. So many things going on, I'm sorry. But people, when we talk about what's going down on this planet, there's so much going down. Well, when they were doing that, nobody understood or believed that it was real, that we actually went back in time, or we could go back in time or to the future or anything like that. Well, they had a blackout from Canada down to Florida. They never said what caused it, ever. To this day, they don't even talk about how it could have happened. Here she comes. All right, that's what I'm going to say about it. I'm going to bring Tina on. Greetings, Tina.
Hello, Tina. You've been talking about me, Tommy, have you?
I have been. Who else would I be talking about?
Oh, dear. Hello and greetings to everybody. How are you?
I'm fine. You want to say hello and say whatever's going on right now?
Well, hello, everyone. Tina Brad here in the UK, in Southampton. Hello to Tommy, who's broadcasting from Hawaii tonight. Well, there's been a few videos going about on the internet of things shooting across the skies during the storms here in the UK. We've had 3 storms, I believe. But the thing that's toppled the news today is apparently Russia has invaded the Ukraine. So Europe is technically at war with Russia and the UN. And Russia insists they're peacekeeping forces in the Ukraine. But keep your eyes and ears open, people, for the next move on that. As disclosure comes more and more to us from different directions, I've heard no more at the moment from different sources. It's kind of the same equilibrium, so nothing really to report on that. I haven't heard anything through the pipeline. And I think that's probably where we are today. I've had no feedback or anything since last week, which is unusual. Normally I get a message or two, or someone just said, can you give a shout out or ask a question? I've had nothing. So, but how have you been, Tommy? Not me, you idiot, you're on silent. Hello. Tommy's on silent. It's your speaker. You.
Okay, there it is. All right, I finally got over my staff, and I could actually walk again and things like that.
Good.
I'm in the middle of a battlefield. So much stuff going on here. It's crazy, and I mean that for real. Dealing with all kinds of wars in the streets and around the neighborhood. I'm in a neighborhood that has hundreds of chickens and roosters everywhere. All right, we got dogs barking everywhere, and if you hear noise, it's just outside, and I can't stop it. But it's mind-boggling how people don't care. They get used to it. I don't. But we have roosters going off half of the night. The dogs barking half of the night as well as the day. But outside of that, the UFO level here is incredible. This just happened 2 days ago. Two ships, government ships, were chasing a UFO across Hawaii in the sky. All right, and we didn't hear anything else about it. That's all we got. All right, it is getting active, where people have to see it. More people are getting to know that it's real, and the government's coming out with as much information as they will. They're not going to release a lot. We're going to get into that. So as far as I can say, as far as the UFO world, I am totally disgusted with it.
Oh, sorry, Tommy. We just had a news flash here in the UK. The White House in the United States is just about to make a broadcast about the Ukraine and Russia. The British Prime Minister is just going on telly now in Parliament. They've just had a crisis meeting, and I'm not sure what you can get on American news now, because it just says emergency breaking news. Russia has voted in favor of giving Vladimir Putin authority to deploy troops in the Ukraine. But he insists they're peacekeepers. It just says the President of the United States is due to make an announcement.
I'm just seeing if I can pull it up. Well, I'll leave it on. If it comes up anything important, it should be on soon.
No, they're just they've got reporters in Kiev at the moment. Hold on, can you just turn that up, please? I'm just going to turn the news up here in the UK, and we'll let you know. Quick, put it on.
This is, I've been saying it that I'm trying to be the first person to start a war, first people to start a war. But Mr. Putin's been getting involved with this borderline thing.
He's saying, it says here in the UK, they're saying separatists are in Donetsk and Luhansk and Pisky. So basically, Russia's saying that the Ukraine's been invaded by a foreign force, and Russia is going in to protect the Ukraine. Yes, as President United States President Biden is set to deliver a statement shortly. All right, can you put it on mute again? Thank you. So it should be shortly. I'm not sure what time it is in the States.
Oh, wait, I think it just came on. Hold on. I just saw his face. Here it is.
People who may have a clue to be considerate to others. It's time that we got our confidence back. We don't need laws to compel people to be considerate to others. We can rely on that sense of
Oh, well, I don't hear that right now.
Of responsibility towards one another.
Problem is,
they're talking about the virus first right now.
Yeah, our Prime Minister's tied us to the UN, which has promised help.
Producers going to start more production? So far, U.S. oil companies.
Well, they didn't break open anything yet. They didn't interrupt all the channels yet. So I'll probably give him a little more time. All right, Tina. I don't know if you read the title at least today.
The cover up and the lies.
All right. Now, over this past week, I have been dealing with so many different sites and people speaking what's happening. The first thing I know Tina will work with me with as far as aliens are good. They're going to help us. There's no bad aliens. And Mr. Greer is getting millions of dollars. People believe him. People want to talk to aliens. This is what I want to bring up. All these people I meet, and some of them say, I work with aliens. I work with aliens. And I say, what did they do for you?
Okay, next time you see a person that says they work with aliens, ask them, were they abducted against their will by these good aliens, or were they invited to go and work with them?
You know, I just read this. I was given to it by a medicine woman to listen to the story. And this lady, she died last year. She was visited when she was young. She saw these crystal shapes in front of the window. And little by little, she was seeing them all the time. When they went to interview her daughter, this giant crystal sphere in front of the window appeared. All right, no matter how beautiful it looks, all right, whether it's a ship, a crystal, a light, what does that mean? Does that mean it's spiritual?
Does it mean it's good?
We assume because it's white or yellow and bright, it's spiritual. People, I do shows on spiritual all the time, so tune into one of those shows. Ask yourself, what does spiritual mean? Yellow and white? I mean, even there's a lot. The beings you meet in the inner worlds, they're not. Most of them are not wearing white. They wear purple, black, other colors, but they're not just in white. To think white is the most spiritual thing. As your aura, when you see people's aura, if you see white or yellow, it is a spiritual thing for that person, because you don't see it on people. Very few people have that kind of aura around their bodies. You drink, you smoke, any of those things cuts it down. It's not there. It's red, green, yellow, all light yellow, dark yellow. Combinations of them colors mixed with orange. So it's a dull color. And if they smoke too much, there's holes in their aura as well. You'll see black holes in these colors around them. So when people say, well, I saw the light, what light did you see? Somebody turn on the kitchen light? I mean, I was told by a Hopi elder when I was on a vision quest with them, don't go into the light. They'll get you when you do. All right. I'm just saying what he said. I learned about the light. I learned the real light, the false light, make-believe light, lights that radiate, that by aliens can radiate, or lights that beings or entities can radiate. Just because a being comes into your room and they're glowing doesn't mean they're spiritual. There's one word for spiritual, what it really means. All right. When a person lights up a bright light and say they're going to teach you what? What do you think you really have to learn? Nothing they teach on this planet. Tina, do you want to take it from why when people say, oh, well, I work with aliens, like you were saying?
Right. So I've got so many questions just before I think we even get to that, right?
Oh, okay.
If all aliens are good, where are the bad ones? And if it is the good aliens abducting people, torturing people, taking them against their will, then I'd hate to meet a bad one, for one. Two, why can't the good aliens that work with us, what exactly are we working with them on? Is it a project? Can you name it? When are you meeting up? Can anyone join the club? What colour is it this week? Oh, that'd be funny. And then if they're good aliens helping us, why aren't they curing sickness? Why aren't they stopping cancer? Why are they stopping people's teeth from falling out or animals from dying? Why have we still got food and starvation and disease and people killing each other? Why have we still got half the planets on fire and famine?
Hold them. Let's start with the very first thought. Okay, when people say, well, I work with aliens, why? The first question you need to ask those people, why? And they'll say, oh, because they're going to teach me what? What do they teach people? Nothing important. What are we learning? In the past 100 years, what did they teach us that was beneficial? I'm not talking about Tesla. He was an exception to the rule. But he was given weapons, people. Weapons, not beautiful crystals or anything like that. Weapons, how to build weapons, which he gave to the U.S. government. But after that, when you see these people and they want to talk to them, think about, what do you want to ask? If you saw God, what would you ask God? All right? Then think, what would you want to ask an alien? Well, what color underwear do you wear? What do you think you're going to ask an alien? What do you think they're going to answer with? What do you think they're going to tell you? Anything we need to hear? They're changing our history, and they want us to believe it. All right, going back to Atlantis, I was there. They destroyed it, but they convinced people that they created us. We were not created by the Anunnaki people. You can say it over and over to yourself. Well, that's what these writings say. I could write a story, go back in time, put it there, and then when somebody reads it, it's going to be real. People could believe whatever they want. Billy Myers was the most important UFO case in the very beginning in the 1950s. And he said he worked with aliens. They gave him prophecy. His prophecy was 100 things in prophecy, which 89 of them came true. Does that mean they were naturally going to happen? Or were they some of the things that the aliens helped create? You got to think about alternative answers to whatever you get these answers to these dumb questions. Because I have my direct experience with aliens, ships, and everything else. So does Tina. And I work with people for many years from let's see, I was born in 52, 62, 72. From 72 on, I work with people that lost their children. Is that a good alien taking their children away? Really?
And also, how do they know that they're working with good aliens? Who told them that they're good aliens?
Exactly. Tina, if I have to step off the screen for a while, you think you can hold on?
Yeah.
All right, just in case. Because I got somebody coming to the house today.
That's okay, I can take over. Yeah, so what makes people say that? Well, just reading some talk in the chat room and like that. I mean, what makes people so sure that they're working with good aliens? And why is it that people speak out to say that they've had bad experiences? Because that's how we learn, by people coming forward. And they all can't be good experiences. I'd be worried if everyone came forward and they did have a good experience. Well, where are the bad experiences? Well, the bad experiences are here, not necessarily bad, but they are scary. They're frightening. Well, at least one point in things that have happened to me, I thought I was going to die. I generally thought I was going to lose my life. You know, so that's not a positive thing. That's as scary as how.
I'll be right back. Hold on, just in case.
Okay. That's as scary as how life-threatening thing. So, you know, I don't mean to be negative. I am a negative person, probably. I'm not going to deny that. I see things for what they are through my eyes and my experiences. But when you're laid on a bed against your will and there's beings there and you've got blood shooting out of your chest and they're quite happily let you die and move on to another human being, completely defenseless and helpless.
I'm sorry. I'm going to have to disappear for a little while, Tina. Try to do the best you can, okay?
Okay. Wrong way, Tommy. There you go. So, and you're laid there completely helpless and defenseless. I mean, how would you see that? Would you see that as a positive thing? And when you're stuck there, you are on your own, you're scared to death in an environment that's not familiar to you. You went to bed and you haven't woken up. You've come around in this room where the beings they're inside your body performing operations. How would you feel about that? Is that a positive thing? Is that a scary thing? Is that a life-threatening thing? You don't know what you're going on. You're in an alien or different environment with creatures that are not familiar to you. They've sedated you or subdued you in some way. To me, that does not come across. You know, you're telling people how it is. You're not making it a deliberate negative spin to it. That is how it is. That's how it was. You know, so for people that do come forward, that do remember, it is a very traumatic event. And I'm not saying that the people that probably have lovely sunshine and light experiences in that, I was not one of them. I can only tell you what happened to me and how I felt and how I perceived it. Being there. So many people say, oh, why do you think aliens are bad? Why do you want them to be bad? I don't want them to be bad. I just don't want them to be here. I don't want them to take me. I don't want them to be in our airspace, because once you've had something like that done to you, you're scared it's going to happen again. So when they've taken me, There's been no Air Force to come to my rescue. So they've come to our planet. The NASA's not stopped them. The Air Force has not stopped them. They've come locally to my area, so the police haven't stopped them. They've invaded my home. My family hasn't stopped them, and have taken me against my will as a child. How would you perceive that as a child if that was your child? So take into fact that concept, and then them drugging you or sedating you or subduing you. You then wake up wherever they've taken you to, a different location, unfamiliar to you. Yet some people may say it's a positive thing. You don't recognise it. You're scared. You're alone. You're unable to move. You're fearful for your life. You're not sure what's going on, and you see creatures that you've never seen before. And that's not necessarily a negative thing, but it's a very frightening and traumatic experience because you don't know what they're doing. By this time, you've not communicated with them. They've not communicated with you. You've woken up or you're awake, the drugs have worn off or whatever, and these beings are around you doing things, not talking to you, and you're unable to move. You can't fend for yourself. You can't protect yourself. There's no one protecting you. There's no Air Force, no NASA, no police, no nothing. You're on your own. So now put yourself in a child's position. When I was younger, in that position. So all this comes into play, and you don't realise it when you're younger. So it's okay to say, because I've spoken out now, or other people speak out now when they're older, that putting a child through that is so traumatic. And let alone when you're an adult as well. When you're an adult, you don't expect it because you think those things are left behind you in the past. But when you wake up, your partner's gone. You then wake up in some unfamiliar surroundings, but they do seem familiar. Then the kind of penny drops, and you realise where you are, and you're more frightened about what you know is going to happen or what you think is going to happen, a different scenario or different ships, but you know what's coming. There is a familiarity to it, so that's probably a positive thing. But it's not. It's different each time because they want something different. It's further test they're doing on you. But again, they've come into our atmosphere. So NASA's not protected us. The satellites are not protected us. The war program, whatever's not protected us. They've come into our airspace. So and the air forces around the world have not protected us. They've come locally into your area. So any forces or ground forces or military have not protected you. The local police haven't protected you because they've invaded your home. They've come and taken you from your home, from your family, from your safe place, under the cover of darkness covertly. Is that a friendly thing to do? No. Is that a bright, sunshiny thing to do? No. So if that's not a nice thing to do, it's covertly a covert thing that they've done. Is that a positive thing? For me, no. Anyone that tries to take another person or being from a natural environment, take them to an alien environment, perform experiments on them against their will. So they're coming in to your world, into your atmosphere, come to your home. I'm sorry, my dog's trying to chew my bag. Stop that. Hey. So it's all these things are to be taken into account, how abductees really feel. So when people say, oh, certain abductees, they never did this, this, and this. Well, did these abductees, did they invite these alien beings or different species to their home? Did they get volunteered to be taken? If so, where's the list? And did they put their name down? Because I didn't. So all these things are not taken into account when somebody speaks out. You're not taking in the whole picture. You're not listening and fully understanding the picture that they're painting for you. They're just painting a small piece of a giant puzzle. This is what's happened to them. There's many different perspectives you can see it from. But once you just say, hold on, let me put myself in your position and run through all of these different points over periods of years, then you get it. It's not that you can get, anyone can have their say. It's then you get to truly see what's happened to that person and in their experiences that moving forward that they're trying to tell you. People should listen and learn from abductees. We hold so much more than we realise, and we're taken for a reason. We're nothing special. We're just the same as a human race. It's just, I think we're just unlucky enough to remember there's hundreds and hundreds of people I've seen up there that that have been taken and don't even realise it. These people say, yes, I'd love to be abducted. They probably have and don't even realise it. Or if you're like me, unlucky enough to realise, I realised that you have been taken, then, there's nowhere to go. Who do you turn to? Well, there's no one locally. Back when I was younger, groups and things like that were never heard of. And even in this day and age, it took me a long time to get help, trying to sort things out. So it's not like America where you can phone up, I don't know, Project Blue Book or the FBI. We don't have things like that in the UK. So, you can go forward to who? The Home Office. By the time you get through on the telephone, it's probably about a week later. You can't leave messages. You can't talk. You can't just pick up the phone and talk to somebody. You can't walk to a local office because there isn't any anymore. So speaking out is a hard thing. It's a costly thing. It's phone calls, emails. Where do you start? So for someone to speak out and get the word out, they use different avenues. I only came forward because I was in a desperate situation where I needed help to find out what was going on with me, what was going on with my partner. And things were touch and go for a while. So you do need to find out these things that are going on. And the places you get that, there aren't signs up anywhere. If you're abducted, you get help here. If you've been abducted over the years and you have all these medical issues, which get longer by the year, people say, God, you've got so many medical issues. But when you looked at other abductees, they've got huge medical issues as well. So it's something that they're doing to us. We're not choosing this. So that's not really another positive thing. If they're taking DNA, sperm, or eggs, or even blood, they're experimenting on it, using it in different ways, developing it. It's not helping us. It's taking tissue from us. There's only so much you can take from a human body before it stops regenerating, or if you take certain parts of the body. So, there are lots of different aspects and questions that should be asked and should be looked into scientifically. Now, that I would think, looking at all those different aspects as one whole, then you'd have a good case to report, come up with a review, or even do a study for a university. These are all basic things and different aspects of life that people should be looking at before you make reports, before you comment on someone else's. It's easy to click, say, yeah, they're a nutter. But 90% I found in abductees that I've spoken to or known about and asked about their experiences. A true people should be listening to these people. They should be investigated. They should find out what's gone on, where it's gone on, the locations it's gone on, how long it's gone on for, and what type of beings are doing this. And it should be as simple as walking into a library. We have libraries for books, records, census for people. We have military enlistments. We have wives' clubs, ration books years ago. All these things were documented and filed. I know in America, Project Blue Book, but things that are mainly military records now. There's nowhere locally anyone could go to and make a record to anybody. It's either online and you never hear back, or the number's disconnected and nobody rings you back. So there are many types of different aspects to even think about asking someone when you pass judgment like that, saying that, that on the other side of that, there may be genuine positive beings, but have they made themselves known to all mankind? Have they come into our atmosphere and thought, have we done some environmental damage by bringing our ship here? Has there been a study done on that? All the environmental damage and impact in ozone layer problems from ships coming in and out of our atmosphere? Even the sun, rays and light and radiation affect our planet. Well, if you're coming here on any one of them or form of energy, then you are damaging our planet. Is that a positive thing? No. Again, so I'm not saying that I'm negative, but I think people need to be more broad-minded and look at a lot of other different aspects to abduction and to aliens. I haven't had, normally I have a question or two in my inbox. Nobody's inboxed me this week. So if you have an answer to a previous show, please come on and let us know and we can pass that information on. If you have any information that you'd like to share with us, if you'd like to come onto the show, if you'd like to be interviewed by us, or if you'd like us to put you in touch with a group or somebody to talk to, then please come forward and message me, message Tommy at the end. Tommy will put his email up and you can email Tommy. You can private message me or Tommy at any time.
Guess what?
Hello.
Hawaii is the only place that has to wear a mask yet.
No.
Out of the whole United States, yes. He won't release us wearing masks here. So I'm sorry I had to take off. Something an emergency outside, but I knew it was coming. It wasn't like I didn't know it was going to happen. But where do we get to, Tina?
So I was just talking about the people explained different aspects of abduction and negative points in attitude and things people should take into account before saying, not silly things, before about positives and negatives and what people should look at socially, emotionally, and environmentally before they jump to a conclusion that they're working with good aliens. But and they should look at people's more closely when they're saying you're a negative. What makes that person negative? Normally experience. But Tommy,
when they talk about good aliens, what is a good alien? I brought it up. I always bring it up, especially agenda. We all have an agenda. All animals have an agenda. Some animals have a built-in agenda. What countries have their own agenda. And right now, you can see what's happening between Russia and Europe and all these countries. What we're doing, how we're fighting. Look at what's happening up in Canada. All right, and we're good people. We say we're good people. We all think we're good people. But the riots and the fighting and all the things that are happening, is it the aliens' fault? No. But they're also riding on it. When there's a war, people, just so you know, people get abducted in a war zone. Greatly. I know people in Vietnam that said they saw ships and stuff. So it's not like you just started coming here. They're here to say hi and teach us how to be good spiritual people. How do you become that? If you're not that now, what do you think? Who can teach you how to become a spiritual person? An alien? Now, the other word that I wanted to bring up today while we're doing the show is dimensional beings. All right. Because they come to a dimension makes them spiritual. No, it doesn't. The Montauk Project in the very beginning of the show, basically they opened a vortex, a big vortex in our sky. It's allowing all kind of entities to come through it that shouldn't be here. All right. Interdimensional creatures. Go on TV. Even the shows are showing these weird creatures they're filming everywhere on the planet now. It's growing because the government can't close it. I mean, if Tesla was still alive, he might be able to figure a way to close it, but he gave us the idea how to open it. And when the Philadelphia experiment happened, that's what they did. It's a danger to this planet completely, and the government knows they can't close it. What are they doing? Preparing for war. That's why all this money is going for war zones. Now, people, you won't hear this in the UFO world. We had 3 major wars in space with aliens. We had 2 on planet Earth. So when they say, oh, good aliens, does a good alien kill 68 people at one time? I mean, think about what you're saying. Good aliens. They're going to teach us. What are they going to teach us? What? How not to beat up our brother? I mean, what are they going to teach us, and how are they going to make us learn it? Jesus was trying to teach people simple things, and they couldn't learn it. So what? Joe Schmo's going to come out of the sky and teach us how to fly? What do you expect to get from an alien, people? Oh, we'll be able to levitate things, maybe, or maybe we'll be. Do you care? Oh, you want to be superhuman? Die. You'll be a soul. You won't have this body. They won't be able to kill you if you're a soul. If you want to be superhuman, if that's your idea of what superhuman means, a dimensional being's coming from the astral plane. All right. There's many things that live on the first realm on the astral plane. If you want to play with that, that's your choice. But don't try to get other people to follow your ideas. Hopefully, people are cleaning out their thoughts, coming up with realism, meaning what is beneficial to the human race, me, and my family. Not what aliens are going to make us do, give us gold and make us buy ships and go to Mars, go to Venus, go to Jupiter. Why? I mean, Musk said, he actually said by 2025, he wants to have 1 million people on the planet. Really? That's his goal. All right. You want to be one of those people? Take your choice. Get on a ship and go there. Have fun walking around on a planet that you can't do anything. You're stuck in a container. You're stuck on breathing spaces and stuff. Is that what you want, people? Advancement, technology, and science take us so far away from who and what we really are. All right. Going to the tribal people, they live in happiness, they live together, and they don't fight. All right. They're used to that, but they don't beg for futuristic wings to fly and spaceships that shoot at weapons and all that. I mean, they live off the land. We destroyed the land. We can't even live off our land anymore. Really. Everything we eat is so toxic. People, are you listening to what's happening? Are you aware of what's really going down? Well, I wish you were, because we're in serious trouble now. Just look, put on your TV right now. Listen to what he's saying. All right, that's loving people. We're good people. We're talking about a whole country. We're not talking about 5 people, 10 people. We're talking about revolution. We're talking about a whole country. So you think aliens are going to come here and say, we've been traveling through space to get to you and help you. You need our help. To do what? Tina didn't need the help. I know people that lost children. One woman lost 2 children in 3 years. All right, and they took her to see him one time and said, you'll never see him again. Is that a compassionate being of any kind? No. And like Tina said, when they play with your body, is that a loving person? Especially when you didn't ask them to. If you had a broken valve and they want to give you a new valve or something, that would be cool. But are they doing that? No. I can tell you a story of a lady that was on a ship with her son. And she said, in the name of Jesus Christ, let me go. And they threw her on the ground. This is a real story. She had a heart attack and died. All right. So there's protection, but be careful. We need to be aware of what kind of protection we have and how we're going to use it. All right. And right now, the government is preparing for wars with aliens. They know what they got. We have two major weapons. One can kill grays and one can kill reptilians. You don't think the government's been working on that as well? Why do you think they kept these aliens alive? Now, I just saw the full version of the alien, or not the autopsy, the alien interview. Did you see that, Tina?
Is that the one with the thing with a big head behind a mirror?
It's in a dark room, and they're talking to it. Whitney Schreiber starts crying. Oh, what are they doing to this alien? I watched the whole video 2 days ago. They actually injected him with sodium pentothal, and then they were shocking him as well. Every time he'd answer, they didn't like his answer, they'd shock him again.
Who, Whitney Schreiber or the alien?
What was that?
Who, Whitney, is it Schreiber or the alien?
The alien. They had him strapped down in the chair.
We're not welcoming visitors anymore, we're torturing them.
But he said a lot. He said, we're going to be destroyed by one person who's going to make us believe that weapons are what we need and then blow up the planet. All right. And the guy's interviewing him said, well, who is it? He goes, I can't give the name. I can't rearrange history. Oh, yes, you can. You're here. Tell us who it is. And they shocked him again. And they wanted him to tell who this person's going to be that does that. You know, the idea of being psychic is very dangerous to a government. And when they find out a person's psychic, they usually go after them. My friend Sean David Morton will be on this show, hopefully maybe next week. All right. He was one of the top psychics until they arrested him, put him in jail for a couple of years, tortured him. They ripped his teeth out. They blinded him. He's got cancer from his throat down into his lungs. They let him out about half a year ago. All right. But they assume he's going to die, so they don't care. They tortured him long enough. They arrested him for 150 charges that were all fake. But he was a sovereign citizen. You're not allowed to testify for yourself when you're a sovereign citizen. So they wouldn't even let him say a word in defense. But they had no documents, no proof of anything they brought against him, and then they put him in jail. And they gave him a fine of $450,000 when he gets out of jail. So they arrested his wife as well. She was very sick. They let her out, I guess, within a year and a half. But it's sad what the government does to people that go against the grain, meaning bringing the truth out about what's happening. But you don't see the government coming out and saying, the aliens are good, they're going to come help us. You don't see that, do you? All right. Why? I mean, if that was the case, they wouldn't be worried about it, but they are worried about it. Like I said, this alien already told them that the world's going to be destroyed. All right, and that was years ago. That was oh, I got something really cool to show you. You want something? Say something while I pull this out, Tina.
Okay, well, a few things like what Tommy has just said. I mean, again, it goes back to good and bad aliens. Why aren't they speaking to everybody in the world? If they truly wanted to help mankind, they would speak to every country, every person, every religious sect. Just stop fighting. You'd be a long way. If the human beings could stop bickering amongst themselves and stop hurting each other, we'd be 95% there. It would help heal the planet. So all those people out there that hate each other, just stop hating each other. It would cure a lot of environmental damage. You'd have less wars. If people cooperated, you'd have less famine, less sick people. Just help somebody. You don't have to really like and get on with people. Just help one person. I was always taught in life, if you can help someone along the way, do so. We're all going in one direction from the beginning of life to the end of life. Just help somebody along the way. It could change their life or make their life better. Everyone should try and strive to have a better life, or at least help somebody, even if it's one person. Tommy.
All right. Now I'm going to show you a picture. All right. It was a tape, a cassette tape made 1965 November. It was in Edwards Air Force Base. All right. Read that.
I said, stop there. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
It was about these ships hovering over the base for a whole hour. The chain of command from the person inside the airport, the tower, had to radio one guy, and then he had to call somebody higher than him. He had to call somebody higher than him, and then he had to call somebody higher than him. And it's all on a tape. You could hear the whole thing going down, for real, for live. And then finally they said, okay, we'll get 2 jets out there. They finally get 2 jets out over the base, and all they see is the couple of ships that were there shoot out into space.
Wow.
So for them to say they don't have any evidence, that was 1965. So you talk about cover-ups and lies and stories. Like I said, this was put out years ago, at least 25 years ago, as a tape. My friend, he actually did all the B movies and stuff.
It was in the 60s. It's over 45 years ago. 50
Oh, no.
No, more than that, 70 years now, isn't it?
No, I meant when he released that tape.
All right.
All right, and then he released that tape, and but it was public, and it was on the internet. Everybody could have watched it, but people didn't care then at all. All right, UFOs didn't really matter, and it's still a lot of people are 50-50.
I mean, I can't understand why more people and experts in government, just off the top of my head, are alarmed by the amount of shocking facts, apart from technology and communication, which has obviously made people communicate more, therefore they've had more reports. The amount of people now coming forward just from around the world saying that they've been abducted or seen ships is absolutely staggering. It is a phenomenon in itself, and it has got to be very frightening. As a citizen, that the government is not taking this more seriously. This is happening. Millions and millions of people, not just in the UK, are seeing this around the world in each country. And it's staggering figures you'd be looking at there. And why nobody's actually taking this more seriously, and why haven't they addressed this issue with the public?
People, like I keep telling people that I do a show for a reason, not to bring stories out, to bring the truth out. Now, Tina is 100%, I'm 100%, giving our all to what we can put out there, what we can tell you, what we know. Many of these people that are whistleblowers give information out, but is any of it beneficial to you? Can it help? So you talk to aliens. Now what? What did they tell you? Did they ever tell you anything important? Tell us something important that's going to save mankind or help mankind in any way. Oh no, they gave us what? When people see ships in the sky and they're telling you that they're government planes and stuff. Now Stephen Greer is saying a lot of the ships are from China and Russia. Well, the laws in the Army and Navy and the Air Force, unidentified objects are basically shot down. All right. So they know what they are, and they know they can't touch it, so they're not even going to try. When I was born, the year 1952, when all those ships were over the top of the White House, Truman realized it was a danger then. 1952. He had the new MJ-12 in charge of all that. He gave them the highest power so that he could do whatever they have to do, including removing people and all those words, to make sure that it doesn't go public. All right,
I mean, but that's 70 years ago.
I
And
know.
but the government, well, my point is 70 years, technology's come so far, but in that 70 years, the government hasn't budged on anything. But technology's surpassed that, and they've not changed their ways, kind of very outdated. 70 years is a long time, guys.
See,
Just saying.
I can tell you the things that UFO people usually don't talk about. And that's how Truman sold out the United States. All right. He sold out an amount of people that could be abducted, taken, and those kind of words. And he traded technology. And that came from MJ-12. I knew a person involved in that was in MJ-12. So he wasn't lying to me. I know he wasn't. And basically, they covered everything up. In 1996, in the United States, if you go back to then, 180 scientific researchers on a certain subject was killed. The same time as 190 UFO people disappeared or died accidentally or whatever. The other excuse is they committed suicide. All right. But here's a problem, people. The truth's there if you look for it. Don't accept what people say. Look at what they do. What is Biden doing right now? What is Trump doing right now? What do they really care about? How about money? Now, this I want to bring up before the show ends. Do you know the richest people, including Obama, Trump, and one of the second richest people on the planet, are buying islands? Trump's island has a blockade around it. Why are they doing that? You should really ask yourself why. You could pull that up. I'm not making it up.
I've got a question, Tommy. So if all these, for a better word, I can't say do-gooders because I'm doing myself a disservice there and everybody else. If all these positive people and government departments recognise it that this is happening, and all these people that are working with the good aliens, could they then tell me which government department is looking after them? Because there's not a government department looking after me. So I'd like to know the name and address of a government department that I could go to, say that I've had a bad experience with being abducted. Can I get help? Can I get compensation? Can I get looked after? Can I get a good experience out of this? Can I get an apology? But if you're all bright white lights and seeing white beings that are giving you messages, what messages are they giving you? And who else in the government knows? And how are they helping you? How are they contacting you? Again, government departments aren't helping me and they aren't helping other abductees. So in a way, they're not helping alien beings.
Well, what you're saying is like when people go to a doctor, what are your symptoms? I've been abducted. What are your symptoms? I want to be a girl. What are your symptoms? I want to be a guy. Why do they take two of them and say, okay, we'll work on them, but the third one they won't touch? Why? Nobody, doctors, lawyers, ministers, preachers, all of them don't touch the word aliens. Why? It's like a programmed no. You can't talk about it, period. Go to a psychiatrist and say, you're talking to aliens. Okay, I'll make sure you get this medicine tomorrow. All right. Why is it? And it's more proven every single day. It gets more proof on top of the proof that we already have. Now, Luis Elizondo, sorry, I tried and tried and tried to get in touch with him. I wrote him 10 letters yesterday. I said, you'll talk and you'll be honest, you'll talk to anybody. I said, why don't you answer what I'm asking you? Just talk to me for 10 minutes. Let me ask you a simple question. I'll give you some information. But again, we're not getting the truth at any level in the UFO world. And they're still talking about Tic Tacs traveling at speeds and moving. And yeah, but who's driving it? Humans cannot travel. And see, they still don't realize that yet.
Where they're being manufactured? With what material?
Yeah, well, Lear, what was it, Stephen Lear? Is that his first name? I forgot. Bob Lear. When he came out with, and he mentioned element 115, It's a real element. It was there, and he said it a long time ago. It has been accepted into the chain of elements right now. But read about it, what it does. And if he came out with element 115, what do you think they're coming out with? What actually drives ships that aliens have been using? And I'll tell you this, meteorites have some kind of energy the government wants now. Whatever that is, I have a big, incredible meteorite. It was one of the oldest meteorites on the planet. I'm not going to show it to you. It's up there on my altar. But they're buying the largest meteorites that come down. So whatever how they use the energy from that or split it or whatever, there you are. Now, and getting back to getting implants, which Tina knows all about. What are they? How do they work? What technology was in them to do what they do? All right. And I'm telling you, people, if you get abducted, I guarantee they're not going to let you get away from their view. They'll follow you for the rest of your life because of what they need or what they did need you for in the first place.
Oh, Jesus. Hold on. The
People,
US President Joe Biden says Russia has acted flagrantly and breaches of international law. So I think America's sending troops to the
oh, we have
Ukraine.
to. Yep. I
No,
know. Well, we knew it was going to happen.
yeah. The former US ambassador to NATO, Kay, I can't read the other side of the screen, is talking at the moment, which means I think Europe, we're part of the NATO, so we will have to send troops. Someone's just sent a message. Richie Wolf, looks like it's wars imminent in the Ukraine. Yes, it does.
Well, I knew it. I mean, we know that. All right. I mean, if you listen to a lot of the psychics, they predict it.
Demanding a global response. The US president wants a firm global response.
Well, we're in the middle of something happening.
If Russia is their country, let them get on with it. Why are we getting involved?
Well, you know, the UN, what the UN stands for, United Nations.
Where's the United Nations when they're abducting aliens or abducting people within
nowhere,
the United
nowhere. They don't care. They don't care
Where's
about that.
Help? Where's my troops and tanks and Delta forces?
You know,
where is all my help and backup and soldiers to capture these buggers? Who's helping me? No one.
You know, when I saw my first alien, I was young, but I didn't know any better. I was never afraid. My friend and I, we both picked up sticks and chased at it, and we saw the ship take off, and that was next to my house. So people, it wasn't a Russian ship, it wasn't Russian people, because the thing walked right through my door, and the ship took off. It wouldn't be Russia coming to my house to walk around my house. I mean, people want to believe that Russia's driving the ships, China is driving little people from whatever. No, so far from mainstream truth, it's ridiculous. And Mr. Stephen Greer is getting millions of dollars from people. Give him your money. Buy a big, beautiful stadium to put all your UFO people that believe in what he teaches you. Have the aliens come down to talk to you. Waste all your money, half your life to talk to an alien. For what? What's going to be your benefit?
Pay for hypnosis, people, because you've probably been abducted and don't even know it. If you want to talk to aliens and say, why are we so special? You're probably that special person and don't even know it, realistically. And the chances are you probably are.
I'm trying to think of the name. The person that invented the cruise missile. I was in his house.
Don't know.
But his son came out and said, everybody will be abducted at least once in their lifetime.
Well, I've had more than my fair share.
I know. Well, obviously, they didn't find too many people they could use in a beneficial way. That's why they picked you. But realize she has something that they want. And I mean, she's radioactive. We proved it for many shows. Did you get it or did you get?
No.
No. I got to send you mine.
No, I don't. There's a parcel in the post to you, Tommy. I'll send you a letter with some of my. I have good news. We've got the last few minutes, so I'm just going to overtake Tommy's conversation quickly.
Go ahead, no problem.
I'll send Tommy an envelope. It's about that big, and it's got a few of my cards. You know, my cards I had made up, the glossy ones. I've signed one personally to you, Tommy.
Oh, thank you.
I've given you some to send to your friends and people. And I've also put a couple of my little cards you can scan and go straight onto my website, that one. If you like. So there's my scan code, guys. I could take a picture and do that. And I sent Tommy some of these, and so I was just looking for some of the glossy pictures now. I'm not sure. I probably posted them all out. If you private message me, guys, give me your address. If it's not too far away than UK, I'll send them out. If it's going to be abroad, it'll probably cost you $1 or $2 for me to post it to you. Message me and I'll send them straight away. But I'm rounding up my book. It's been going through this Sunday, so I hope, fingers crossed, no more delays. It should be out by the end of next week, hopefully, if all goes well. So hopefully before the end of March, my book, I was aiming for Christmas or February, but hopefully got an editor coming over Sunday and it's being done Sunday, fingers crossed. So my book should be out Sunday. I've got other things coming in and other dates in the UK. As soon as anything else comes up, I'll let you know. But for now, if anyone would like, I'm just going to, Tommy, take over for 1 second. I'm going to find one of these cards.
All right. So please, if you have any questions, send them to Tina or I at mine's hawksblood1@aol.com.
Can you put your email up, Tommy, so people can see
I'll put it up. This way, if you can't get into the chat room and ask questions, that's fine too. It's an easy way to do it.
So, guys, I sent a load of these glossy ones with my signature on the back here, and on the front I wrote my name. Okay, I sent Tommy some of these. If you live in Hawaii and America and you would like one of these cards, it's just a cover, front and back cover of my new book. I've signed them. I've sent 10 copies to Tommy. One is dedicated to Tommy personally from me because he's my buddy. And I think, Tommy, I'm going to start. I might have a few T-shirts I'm going to send you away as well. Different ones from around the world, UFO ones. So any that I've had sent to me, I can send to Tommy. Tommy's email's there. Email Tommy or message Tommy, and he can send you through from Hawaii. If he needs more, I can send them out. If you'd like one of these personally signed by me with a scan on, let me know. And what I'm going to do is get a picture of me and Tommy. Hopefully one day I'm going to go to Hawaii where Tommy can come here and we'll have a picture taken together, guys, and we'll hopefully get that to you when all the COVID's over. But if you'd like one, message me, email me, or just private message me, guys, or contact me on the show, and we can send you one of these courtesy of the show for free. If you don't live too far from me in Hampshire, I can send you it for free. If you're outside of Hampshire or the UK, it's going to cost you probably $1 or $2 postage. I'm not sure. Depends on the world where you live. And if you're in Hawaii, Tommy might be able to give you some for free. But if you need more, Tommy, message me and let me know, and I'll send you to them. If anyone else has anything, free bits that you want to send Tommy or me, message us, and we get you to a location where you can pick them up. We can send it by courier. Anything else, Tommy?
People, if you have any specific questions or want to talk about certain subjects, let us know. Yeah. I can't talk about everything on this show because I don't know how much people want of certain things. I do my so-called spiritual quest on another one, but this is pertaining to a lot of basic everything going on this planet right now. And it's serious, people. And I'm saying don't waste your money. You'll need it. We're going to go through hard times. This war takes off. We'll be in more trouble. Don't spend it on a UFO conference that you're going to hear a bunch of stories and everything else that you learn how to talk to aliens and you'll be okay. Really? We're running out of time.
And if you do have questions and you question us and you wonder why we talk about good and bad and experiences, come on the show and challenge us. Me and Tommy love a good challenge. We like to talk through all aspects. I mean, we might even learn things that we don't know. We don't know unless you come on and challenge us and talk to us, or we can interview you guys. Tommy's got so many years and context of experience to bring to this. Please listen. I can only tell you my viewpoint from what's happened to me. But again, from me, Tommy, I'm going to get that Geiger counter. Hopefully within the next 2 weeks. Hopefully by the next time you guys see me, I should have my book done. Fingers crossed. Well wishes to Tommy and his family, and it's good to see you better. Please, everybody around the globe, stay safe if you can, please. Please remember, in high tension times, remember it's always the poor people, the public, or the people like us that get it in the neck or that go without things. I feel sorry for people in Russia, the Ukraine, England, and America, all around the world, basically. Just be kind to one another and stay safe, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you, Tina,
It's been
so
a
much.
pleasure,
I'm glad you
Tony.
took over for a while.
No,
Uh,
my pleasure. It's
we'll
great.
see you in a week.
I'll see you in a week.
Stay in touch
See you later.
online, and
Bye bye, guys. Thank you for coming on the show. Bye.
bye bye. Tina Bird, she's a great person. Uh, she's really planning on coming out here, which I hope she does sometime in the near future. But people, it's a serious time, serious things happening to the planet, happening to yourself as well. The air you breathe, the food you take, the medicine, the injections, and everything they're giving us, is it beneficial for our bodies, really? Now, there's a new word, if I can remember it. Okay, it's in water. It's the other part of H2O, uranium. Look it up. It's the most dangerous substance you should be putting in your body. It's actually the other part of the hydrogen in the water. It's a natural thing. So it's in most countries a lot stronger than some countries, based on where the water came from and how it went through the mountain, ground, and things like that. But it does a lot of serious things. It cuts your life shorter. It also affects your spiritual awareness. It affects a lot of different things. Pull it up. I'm not making it up, people. Deuterium. Okay, it's H2O and it's H2NaO. It's separate. They never told us all the time we drank water all our lives. But it's a serious trouble. It actually makes water heavier. Pull it up. Read about it. You need to know. Just because you think you're buying bottled water, you're safe by drinking that water. Think again. Nothing that we eat, drink, or smoke, or whatever you want to do is actually beneficial for the human body. The herbs that can help us, they can, but imagine if they weren't toxic dirt they were growing in, fed toxic water, and all the other things what they could do for our body. We would be incredibly healthy. And nobody wants, not, people want it, but the government doesn't. So, people, I'm glad you tuned in today. Please send this link to everybody you can. If you know any people in the UFO world, send it to them. Stick it on their site. Uh, like Tina said, we're both hardcore. We'll debate or talk to anybody that comes on, as long as they're real. We don't need trolls or anything like that coming on. But I mean, a person that really believes something or thinks they know something and wants to challenge us, please come on, prove it, show us. Uh, but it's not happening right now, and nobody can. And I challenge just about everybody in the UFO world right now. But Troy and David Morton will be on our show. Hopefully, I'll see if I can get him on next Tuesday. And he's one of the smartest people on the planet. Why did he get arrested and everything? Because he was too smart. All right, you ever hear the word you're too smart for your own britches? Well, guess what? He was. So, people, it's I'm gonna end the show today. Had a lot going on. I got to finish checking on the things that were happening. But please, no, all the chickens outside aren't mine. The roosters aren't mine. The dogs aren't mine. I got Gizmo, but all the other dogs barking. I live in a giant zoo, really, and I'm not making a joke. I went outside. There was 5 chickens and roosters on my fence, standing on top of it. I get them from next door. I get the wild ones coming here as well. It's crazy. The hawks come out at about 4:30 at night, and they're screaming around, which is cool. I don't mind hawks screaming. They're at a nice hour, 4:30, 5:30, and it only lasts for about an hour, so that's okay. But roosters go up in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, and they all start talking to each other. It's noisy, and that's a duck next door as well. And they got a goat next door that bangs on something all night long. It's really crazy. All right, people, wake up, listen, but don't accept anything you hear unless you prove it to yourself that it's real. Don't believe anything I say. If you do, prove it to yourself. Make sure that it's real. I mean, I put myself on the line 100%. I'm responsible back to God, nobody else. Uh, and if I do anything wrong that way, guess what? I pay the consequences. Nobody else does. So peace, love, compassion, whatever you need in your life, hope you get it. Hope it fulfills you. So till next time, Rev.Hawksblood signing out for today. Tuning. I will be doing a show this week on a more spiritual aspect of something, but I will put that out there when it happens. Okay, have a good night, have a good day, wherever you are.